Welcome to Talk Dirt to Me, where two farmers shatter myths and take on the top issues facing America's farmers. Here's your hosts, Logan and Bobby Lee.
What's up, everybody?
Yes, another good evening.
Another good evening. What you drinking?
I'm actually
Water.
Speak of the devil, because he just texted us both. Courtesy of our bourbon sponsor, Mr. Tim. It's Old Louisville.
Old Louisville. I ain't never had that one.
It's he's part of that bourbon club.
Yeah.
It's one of the bottles that they got. It's hot. It's
Well, I think all of those are 100 proof or higher, aren't they?
Yeah, this is like 121.
Oh, it is, man. You'll be clucking like a chicken by the time this episode's over.
Maybe so. And I know what you're drinking, but go ahead and tell everybody.
The Devil's Cut, man. I got just the old tried and true. It's, like I said, it's a good sipper. It's about 90 proof, so I won't be
The opposite of what I went for.
It is, yeah. Like I've it's funny. I've got a variety of proofs, and I've got some, that are the 120s, even up into the 130s, and then I got the like 80s and 90s. And on a typical normal night, I just kind of like a lower proof one.
Well, I say it all the time. I drink bourbon pretty much one night a week,
Yeah.
especially this time of year. It's hotter than Satan's butthole
Yeah.
right now. It's not like
I want to drink it more now than normal.
because our routine every night is we sit out on the back patio. I fire up the grill, kids swim. We sit out there it's hot.
Yeah, that's true.
But our refrigerator, I feel like I'm like the settlers, like on the Oregon Trail. I only have one refrigerator.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. That would be terrible.
And I feel, it's obviously first world problems. We've only got one refrigerator.
Yeah.
And so we don't really have that much room because we have just too much shit. And so we're normally my outside fridge, it's the beer fridge.
Yeah.
It's the beer fridge, and I keep most of like my raw meat that I've thawed out. And so now we don't have any room for beer. So the other night we were like, damn, we're basically out of beer. I'm going to have to pour bourbon.
So you drink a little bourbon.
I don't even remember if I did or not.
See, I actually find myself drinking bourbon more now because the kids are out of school. Our schedules are more relaxed. And so at night, we're like, instead of like, all right, we got to get the kids in bed, stuff is kind of more chill. And like, we might watch a movie or stay on this. So then I just pour me a glass.
Well, like tonight, another reason I was about 5-10 minutes late getting here. It's 9 o'clock sneaks up on you.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you text me earlier and said 9, I was like, oh, damn, I was hoping we'd go a little earlier. Well, shoot, I was sitting there on my back patio, hadn't even thrown the steak on the grill yet, and it was 8:20, and I was like, oh, hell. I was like, I guess I better get to, but it was still daylight.
Well, that's what throws me off this time of year. And see, we had the farm store open.
I was going to ask you, y'all are officially open.
We were open today. We'll be open again Saturday. We still don't have set hours. We're still trying to figure it out.
What y'all got in stock right now?
Man, we got, Marcy has been working her ass off too, but we've got pickles. We got bread and butter, dill, and spicy pickles. We got salsa, eggs. We got pickled okra, cowboy candy, and blackberry jelly. And then we got fresh blackberries, and we got squash, we got zucchini, and she made a bunch of zucchini bread.
Okay.
Have you ever had zucchini bread?
I think I have.
It's good, man. You don't even taste zucchini. Like she made a chocolate zucchini bread and then like a brown sugar cinnamon zucchini bread.
Because me trying to adhere to my diet, which this time of year makes it easier because I grill meat and vegetables every night. So I stop and buy fresh produce in the store all the time. So I'll be glad to be able to swing by your place.
Well, that's what.
And now that all my chickens have been picked off by whatever varmints, I need to start buying my eggs from you too.
Yeah, because we got plenty of eggs, man. We get about 45 eggs a day.
Yeah.
And we've actually got we introduced 18 chickens in that haven't even started laying yet. So we should be getting, we should be getting close to 60 eggs a day here soon. And our guineas, we got our 2 guineas in there. But, yeah.
Well, I assume you haven't gotten any planting done since last week.
No, I ain't done shit like that. I ain't been able to spray. I ain't been able to side dress the corn. We got 7 inches of rain last night. I had corn underwater.
Well, you caught 7 inches, I guess, like up around Covington.
Yeah, and actually, like at my dad's house, he got 7 inches.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I got about 3.5 at my house, and I got about 4.5 up the road at my farm.
Oh, yeah, look at my corn here. Well, this is one of my cornfields. That's not water there. That's water damage.
Where you didn't get a stand?
Yeah. And this unfortunate part is this is one of my best farms.
Damn.
It's one of my best farms. This bottom here, y'all can't see this, but this is a 30-acre bottom. Actually, you can see water standing out in there. This is a 30-acre bottom. It normally averages 200 bushel corn. That looks like it's freaking...
Yeah, what, you got about a
60 bushel corn crop?
Okay, I was going to say about a 60% stand, but yeah.
I mean, no, it'll shell as horrible as that looks. Because, see, I mean, there's just
right.
nothing.
That's less than 60. That's less than 50% stand.
It's like a 40, 30, 35, 40% stand. And I mean, look at like it made me sick to my stomach. I flew the drone over today, was looking, and then there's like you can see where it just those low spots.
Total drown out. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
And then you can see where it got over my beans. This is out actually there's the farm store. This is my bean field right out there in the big bottom. These beans will actually be okay because it got off of them. That's just mud.
Yeah.
They got on them, but you can see how far up the water got on that creek.
Will that burn them pretty bad with that mud?
It might. This is my corn. This is what I'm going to show you. There's my cornfield on Holly Grove.
Ooh.
You can see the corn.
I know which farm you're talking about, yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
I mean, there's corn.
Yeah, we had pretty gnarly flooding in our area overnight last night. Say some places got up to 7 inches. I knew that 4.5 that I got on one farm wasn't the most that anybody got. I knew, because I saw some of the videos and all out of Covington where, I mean, businesses were flooded during the town.
Oh, dude, yeah, the Highway 51. I saw a video of a guy driving through Highway 51, and it's just water was in everything. Like, I think Tipton Tactical said he had almost like 8 inches of water in there.
I actually had somebody in the office this morning said the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I told my wife, I was like, man, we got 7 inches of rain last night. She's like, 7 inches? My God, that's massive.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know. I mean, that's huge. She was like, yeah, like 4.5 inches is just absolutely monstrous. So
yeah.
She could only imagine what 7 inches of rainfall would be like.
Yeah. Well, that's well, you know, and they were calling for
1 to 2 inches is what my phone said.
And I was like, damn, that's a big ass rain.
Me too.
And then, yeah, well, it woke me up, and I don't wake up easily with storms. And then when my alarm went off this morning, I was like, because I needed to get up and go feed cows and whatnot. And I was like, shit, like I hate just feeding the mud. And I had to kind of change my morning plans.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to get struck by lightning trying to feed.
It was some of the most vicious lightning.
Yeah.
That's what woke us up. My wife, she don't believe in like blackout curtains. She wants like the little thin ones that you can like still see through. And so, at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, it's like, and it's like a flash of light like going off, and it wakes me up, and then she wakes her up, and I'm like, boy, some blackout curtains sure would be nice right now, because when it like a strike of lightning happens, you know, the whole room just illuminates. And then, so my daughter did end up in our bed. Somehow Levi, I don't even know that he ever woke up.
Yeah.
It was like rattling the house. The lightning was so vicious.
So do you still have some planting you're planning on doing, or is everything prevent plant at this point, or?
You know, at this point, I talked to some of my reps, and you know, honestly, I think at this point I'm probably done.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hell, I don't blame you. Even though we are supposed to have now, because I'm getting ready to cut some hay this weekend probably. It's forecast actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still like 25% chances every day.
Yeah.
But hell, compared to what we've had, I almost look at that as a 0% chance.
I have so much spraying to do now. Like, I'm so behind because of this rain that like I need like 4 days of spraying.
Yeah.
And then if it'll ever get dry enough, I mean, I got corn that desperately needs to be side dressed. So, I mean, I got corn that ain't even had the post-emerge sprayed over it. Like, I mean, I'm way behind on spraying. And yeah, I still have probably 150 to 200 acres that I was probably gonna plant, and I don't think I'm going to.
Yeah.
Like so I was telling my wife today. I said, you know what? I just don't think I'm going to at this point. I mean, it's June 19th when we're recording this.
Yeah.
And I mean, and look, you will have those guys that'll be like, oh man, I planted July 4th and the beans still cut 50 bushel acre. You always will have outliers, but statistically speaking, the chances of me planting a crop this late and it doing well are pretty low. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's low, and so I'm probably just going to...
Well, I mean, you just never know. I mean, if the conditions are right, I remember your dad and I planted some corn, and this was for a duck hunting spot on the 4th of July one year.
Yeah.
And this would have been, oh, God, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that corn, which we weren't, I mean, it was for a hunting spot, and we didn't care really what it, we weren't going to put a combine to it anyway. It actually made hellaciously good corn.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can't count on that.
No, I mean, you're rolling the dice, and like I said, I mean, and there's guys that'll be like, I'm going to plant. I'm just always going to plant, and I get it. Like, look, it feels really odd.
Well, you combine that, if inputs were lower and commodity prices were better. Yeah, if beans were $14 and
Yeah.
you had $7 corn, whatever. Yeah, like okay,
You can roll the dice a little more.
Even if we only make 70% of the yield we were hoping to make, it's still pencils.
Yep.
But now we were already looking at a year where, it was a break even. Was kind of a best case scenario to begin with. And so,
With decent yields. Yeah, I need decent yields just to break even.
yeah.
Well, before you hear too much more, we got two things we need you to do. First, we need you to leave us a rating and a review. We have, you guys have crushed on the ratings and reviews. Go on Apple, leave us 5 stars. Spotify, leave us 5 stars. Love to hear the ratings and reviews. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment below, and let us know what you think of the episode. And tell us what things like in your area. Is it a swamp fest or is it dry? Because, I mean, it's different all across the country, but love to hear that. And the giveaway is still going.
Yep. TalkDirtPodcast.com.
Yep. For one more week. I think June 27th is the cutoff. And again, it's about $1,000 package. A lot of great giveaway items in there. Plus, get the chance to come hang out with us, be on the show. You don't have to. If that's deterring people, you do not have to come on the show. But it is offered. So
yeah, we can just mail you the goodies if you can't make it in town. So
yep. What else do you need to do?
Agzaga.com. Discount code, again, it's a new one, TalkDirt20. It's going to take $20 off a $50 order or more, plus free shipping. Had a buddy text me yesterday, which I was like, man, you're telling on yourself. I know you hadn't listened to the last couple of episodes.
Oh.
He said, your code doesn't work. I said, well, it changed. You hadn't been listening. But yeah, it's TalkDirt20. The Belknap wrap. Yeah, you're not going to beat the prices, the selection, and all the other stuff. They're not just a Belknap wrap supplier, even if that's what they are really known for.
Yep.
But yeah.
Well, before we jump in, Bobby Lee's got a topic. We got several emails. I told Bobby Lee we got a really, really interesting email. We get called a kind of a derogatory term in this email, and so I'm going to save that part for last. But something that I want to tell you, talk about is like an updated state of where we're at in ag. And I've gotten a really first-hand look on this, at least in our area, the condition of where we are. And so, very, very transparent. Like I think I've shared on here that I took a beating last year and been working with FSA, which is our Farm Service Agency, to try to mitigate some previous or carryover debt. And they did issue our area basically they classified our county as a state of emergency last year on the drought. And so we got there's an emergency loan that FSA offers. So
to finance debt.
Debt. And typically speaking, most guys in our area and even across the country that I've talked to lost about $150 an acre on average. That seems to be the roundabout number that I keep hearing from people. And so, that's pretty bad losses. And it's all relative to your size, but $150 an acre, that's pretty hard hit for just about anybody to take. So this emergency loan, I've gone to FSA and tried to get it. Well, I don't qualify. Yields have to be apparently your yields have to be just astronomically low. So I didn't qualify for the emergency loan. So then we start working on, all right, well, we'll just have to do basically a guaranteed loan. Start working on that. And I can't do it. I don't cash flow. And like I said, man, we're very raw, authentic on the show, but I don't cash flow on paper. Now, I've got projected budgets and plans that I've given them. And on mine, I can make it cash flow. But on the system there, we can't make it cash flow. And
what are they just projecting, lower yields than, or what?
To be honest, I don't even remember what all they had in there. Yeah. But they can't just use my numbers. That's right. The hard part. I can't just show up. And I want to preface this and say, actually, the people at FSA they were bending over backwards. They have been trying like hell to get this thing through. And I'll give the ladies that I've been working with there, both of them, they really had, we kind of rag sometimes just on the government workers sometimes, but they legitimately were like, man, if we could do this, we wish, but they're like, we're bound to the numbers. Unfortunately, the government they don't give us, there's no leeway.
Right.
The numbers have to line up. And if they don't, they won't do it. And I say all this to say, this is where I've kind of figured out where we are. So, yeah, I got slaughtered last year. I'm still slaughtered, but, hell, at this point, I've talked to my wife, and I'm like, I'm just a fucking gambler. So, by God, that's what we're doing. We're just gambling. I'm a farmer. And trucking on. And I've got ways to clear the debt, I believe. I've been talking about selling cocaine and things like that. You took the words out of my mouth. It's if this isn't the cocaine reference, that I don't know when it's going to come. Yeah, I've been, a friendly cocaine dealer, though.
Now you're going to have more feds up your ass.
I know. Yeah, I'm going to be audited next week. But no, but I do. I've got some plans. I'm actually going to restructure a lot. Going to sell some equipment, lean down really hard. It sucks. It's more of a swap. It's more of a hurts to my pride.
Do some pictures on Foot Finder.
But yeah, I told Marcy, I was like, we could probably start an OnlyFans. I'm like, I don't know, but I'm like, I don't know if I got a porn star wiener or not, But so we're like, we'll figure it out. But I asked the woman, I said, how is this because I said, I said, surely mine's not the worst you've seen. And she said, yours is not even close. So apparently this loan maxes out at $400,000. You can't exceed that on this type of loan. In our area, she said she has done 4 or 5 $400,000 loans.
They needed even more than that.
They needed more than that. That's all they could get was $400,000, and somehow they managed to cash flow. And she.
Well, man, think about that. $150 an acre. If you're a
5,000 acre farmer, how many?
Yeah,
what is that?
Yeah, you lost way more than that. $400,000. Even if you're only losing $100 an acre at 4,000, that's easy math.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and
we got a lot of farmers in our area that are 4,000 or 5,000 acres plus.
Yes. Yeah. And you think about, we got a handful that are 10, 12, 15,000 acres or more, and so it's like, man. And she did tell me that there was a guy. I don't know if he's in our immediate area, but in the revolving area here, that he had to take out a loan. They had to create a separate loan for him because he needed $1.2 million for the carryover debt. Now, again, a lot of these are old operations, so they can somehow cash flow this thing. And then she told me, she said,
which it's a loan, they have to pay it back.
Yes, they got to pay it back. This is not a grant. Some people will be like, wow, here they are bailing out the damn farmers. It's like, no, this is a loan.
I assume it's pretty favorable interest rates.
I think it was going to be probably, she told me it was going to be about 5% interest.
Yeah, so you're still paying them back with interest.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
it's
So
not like it's a handout.
No. I mean, it's just you're going to a bank that is geared towards agriculture. And so I asked her, I said, how is it? How are other guys doing this? And she said, we have handed out more denial, because they have to give you a formal letter of denial. And they gave me that, and I was like, so this is the paper that says I'm a loser. And they were like, no. But she said, we've had to give out more of these than I ever have. Like she said, we have denied tons of farmers this year. And she said, even on the way over here, I'm looking at yours, and she said, the amount of debt that you have is nothing compared to a lot of these. She said, I'm on the ride over here, and I'm like, if I could just approve this, I would just approve it. Like she said, because I'm confident that you're going to be all right.
Small amount
relatively, like it's still an amount of money that bothers me, but compared to my compadres in the area and things, it's very small. And so she was like, I just wish I could help you out. And so I'm like, what are other guys doing? Because she said, we've denied a ton of farmers. So what are they doing? She said, well, a bunch of them are using their line of credit to pay it off. She said some of them are terming the debt out with the dealers, meaning like whatever company you bought your seed from, Helena, Co-op, or whatever, Nutrien, they're going to them and asking them to create terms. Yeah. And so they'll term it out for like 5 years and you pay interest, but they do not want to do that. And I like...
But they don't want you taking bankruptcy either.
They don't want you taking bankruptcy, but it's basically like if you have any other way to do it besides that, to do it. And like, I'm not terming it out with Helena. Like that was one thing I was like, no, I mean, we talked and that's not something I'm doing. But, cause I mean, when you do that too, you're basically, I mean, if you have to do that, you axe yourself to that company. Cause they're like, all right, this guy, we certainly ain't going to let him use.
They're not going to extend you any more credit.
No, we're not going to. Because, I mean, he's now not even able to pay this. So, that's, you're getting really down to the desperate wire if you get to that point. It's telling, though. Like, and she told me, she said, a lot of these guys are very established operations. Like we had said, it's not just the young guys that are taking a hit. Like, across the board, it was bad. And so I don't know, man. It's been interesting to me to hear of how it is, and it don't help me pay the bills, but I will say it makes you feel a little better to know that you're at least I'm not alone. Like at least everybody else is in the crap pot with me.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where we're at on ag. I mean. And for our area here, I mean, we've just been getting our teeth kicked in. I heard somebody say today that we've already surpassed 60 inches of rainfall for this year.
I need to do a better job of like keeping track, like myself, of when I get actually at my house. But I was thinking this evening, I was like, I was thinking about just the month of June. I was like, this has to be like record. I don't know if it's a record, but yeah, this has to be one of the wettest Junes in a long, long time.
Yeah. I mean, I think someone today, literally, they came in the farm store and they were like, they said the other day, we've gotten over 60 inches of rainfall. And we've said it on here many times. Our normal average rainfall for the whole year is about 54 inches. So if we're already at 60 inches, that is insane. The big worry with that, because right now the crops that are actually planted and were able to come up, man, most of them are growing their butt off. They're getting a ton of water. But the problem is their root is about that deep. They just have no root. And let's say we get into a July, August time frame and everything just shuts off. We got no freaking root system. Like, and that's when it gets concerning, because it's like, oh shit, if it gets dry, man, this stuff it has no depth to the roots. And so if it ain't got water right there at the top, it's going to be struggling.
Yeah.
So that's what worries me. But I don't know. So what you got over there?
So there's been a story. It's kind of been going on for a couple of weeks in New Jersey.
Okay.
A case of eminent domain.
Oh.
It's Highland Ranch in Cranbury, New Jersey.
Oh, I saw this.
And so it's a relatively small farm, 21 acres.
Yeah.
But the Cranbury Township Committee, wants to invoke eminent domain to take that 21 acres away from Andy Henry, who's the owner. Farm's been in their family for 175 years.
Dang, wow.
Now, they don't live there.
Yeah.
They actually live in New Mexico now, but says they still go back at least once a year. They still maintain the old farmhouse. I think he said they've even had like an architect like come in. It's going to like do some upgrades to the house, wants everything to be like historically accurate. Like,
yeah,
they are still very invested. They're not
just absent landee or ownees or whatever.
But it's all for affordable housing.
Oh gosh, I hate to sound like a wiener on that, but
well, and I'm just like, good grief, like, is it? Because when I think of eminent domain, I'm thinking
an interstate or something.
Yeah, like we've got to have this road. It's vital to beef up our infrastructure.
Yeah.
Or, we got to build a school or something. Which I don't know that.
There's too many single mothers. We need a strip club in town. The government's going to put in a strip club.
And just like the libertarian, it's like it's not the government's job to be housing people. And
yeah.
So I got a little more fired up. There is actually an update on it. Actually, this is from just this article was updated yesterday, so on Wednesday. It's like they're almost trying to compromise because this story has gotten a lot of publicity, probably more than that little town was hoping
expected.
For. So now they pretty much said they're going to leave him the farmhouse and 9 acres. so they're going to take a little over half, but leave him the house and 9 acres.
But they're going to put affordable housing right there next to it, though.
Well, and it's in like an incredibly urban area to begin with, but they kind of use that as like a big they've just refused to sell. They said they've had huge offers to sell it.
Yeah,
because it's right on the Jersey Turnpike, which I've never been to that part of the country, but the big interstate that runs from New York to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I mean, it's right there on it. Like, I did look it up on a satellite, and I was like, I don't know what land values are right on the side of the Jersey Turnpike. I would imagine they're pretty
astronomical.
And yeah, they said they have turned down enormous figures. It was like $20 to $30 million.
See, now that would really chap my ass.
Well,
if I had turned that down, and then the government's like, "Well, we're just going to take it, damn it."
Well, and I would assume, because I think by eminent domain, I'm not an expert.
They got to pay you market appraisal.
Yeah, like fair market value. And if you could prove, like, well, we've been offered between $20 and $30 million, like, well, that's what they're going to have to pay. But yeah, Brooke Rollins got a little bit involved, although it's really not a federal issue. It's their state or their local town.
Yeah.
But I kind of got to digging because it's for affordable housing. They didn't say for home ownership, which, I mean, obviously, I guess it's going to be government housing. You're going to be renting from the government. It's going to be probably nice when they first build it, then it turns into a shithole.
HUD housing,
That's basically the way it all goes around here. Like, you don't go by any government housing complexes and think, man, that looks like an awesome place to live.
I'd love to live there. Yeah,
it was probably really nice when it was first built, but anytime you got people renting, whether they're renting from the government or whatever, they just don't take care of it as good as they do their own. I know plenty of people that have a lot of rental houses. They're like, man, finding a good tenant is, worth its weight in gold. Like, if you find somebody that's going to actually take care of stuff and just not tear shit up. But anyway, so, my anti-government, anti-tax mindset, I was like, what are their property taxes in New Jersey? Because
I bet it's high as hell.
Because definitely for home ownership. Now, again, this ain't going to be home ownership. It's just going to be rental.
Yeah.
Highest property tax rate in the country.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
The average property tax rate, effective property tax rate in the U.S. is in New Jersey.
Wow.
2.23%. The whole U.S. average is 0.9%.
Dang, wow.
So they're over twice the national average. Because I want to go to those lawmakers. I'm going to turn like, if y'all are really interested in making housing more affordable and even better than that, home ownership more affordable.
Then you'd lower that.
Yeah, we would really look at the fact that we have the highest property taxes in the entire freaking country.
Yeah. We had somebody message us, or they responded on Instagram to one of our clips about property taxes. And was where we're saying we're staunchly opposed to property tax. And they said, wow, I love the idea. They said, how would we pay for our police and fire department? And that's always what I hear people go back to.
You'll figure out another way, because there's nothing about property tax makes any sense.
Well, and I think what would probably happen, this is kind of my theory. One, when you eliminate those things like that, it creates opportunities. So you would have some private ownership that would come in and be like, all right, well, I'm going to start saying you pay me $30 a month. You would basically buy insurance but for fire. And you would be like, I'm going to pay $30 a month or whatever for $1,000 a year. And if your house catches on fire, they're going to have a private fire department that'll come and do it. And so, you're paying for the service. Now, there would be people that'd be like, well, that's, by God, what if so-and-so can't afford it and their house catches on fire? Like, that's the thing you're going to have, which, in all honesty, I don't know. I don't know what you would do. But I think private opportunities would arise.
Well, in almost every industry, when you look at anything the government gets involved in, they're not nearly as efficient as privatization. I know a lot of people, property taxes help pay for schools. And I guess I speak from a place of privilege when I sit here and say I don't think it's the government's job, nor do I want the government educating my kids.
Yeah.
And I think, again, we live in a very sane part of the country. I don't think some of the crap you see online about having, drag queen story time at the local elementary school happens around here.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain it doesn't happen around here, or there would be.
Or Bobby Lee'd be there.
Right.
He'd be the drag queen.
Yeah. I mean, y'all didn't know I do that on the side. But they haven't called to invite me to read to the kids.
It's Pride Month. He figured, why not go ahead and tell our audience Bobby Lee is a drag queen.
But no, and I mean, I send my kids to a private school.
Yeah.
It's not
outrageously
expensive. Yeah, I mean, but I think, if worst, I don't say worst case scenario, but if I had to all of a sudden tomorrow our school closed down or whatever, our public schools I think are pretty good, and it wouldn't be the end of the world if my kids had to go there. But I think whether it's homeschooling, which obviously has gotten to be a big thing, kind of post COVID, or like my kids getting an education is my responsibility.
Yes,
it's not the government's. Me having a roof over mine, my wife's, and my children's heads is my responsibility.
Yep.
It's not the government's responsibility.
That's how I feel.
When you are dependent, the only hand you can rely on is the one at the end of your sleeve.
Yeah.
And I know, people, well, farmers get, well, look, we're anti-handout here at Talk Dirt to Me.
Yep.
That's our official stance. We've long said a lot of those programs are, in the long run, detrimental to the health of agriculture.
Yep.
Yeah.
But here's what we always add the caveat: if all my neighbors are taking it,
right?
Then to be competitive, I have to take it.
Yeah, I'm playing the game that they made the rules. I'm just a player in this game.
Yeah.
The whole don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, that's right. So I used to tell all the women back in the day.
If that is the system, you have to play by it.
Yep.
Yeah. Cut my tax rate, and then I won't try to get any. Then I'll gladly say, oh yeah, I don't want anything. But I pay in far more than I get back.
Yeah, well, that's like I've always said with Social Security. It's like, let me just stop paying Social Security, and I just won't draw any Social Security when I get older.
Yeah.
All right, we got some emails that I want to jump onto. Let me see here.
So Logan, we don't do a lot of pre-show like talking like you're hearing it raw here. Logan said we got a pretty good one.
Yeah, he's excited. All right, I gotta find. It's been a while since we've done these. Let's see. Dang, has it been that long? Man, Surely it ain't been that long ago. Okay.
I'm glad to know I pissed somebody off besides just my wife.
Yeah, well, it's a strange one. Now, I'm not reading that email first. That's going to be the last one.
Okay.
So I'm going to build suspense.
Yep.
I think did I do this one? This is Andrea. She wrote in, my name is Andrea from North Carolina. We grow sweet potatoes, hay, soybeans, and wheat. I have just discovered your podcast, and I love it. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate the content so much. If you are ever in the Kernersville, North Carolina area, we would love to have you visit us, and I'm hoping to get up your way to visit a coworker of mine that lives in the Germantown area.
Yeah, that's right down the road from us.
That is. If I do, I will have to visit your farm. Keep up the awesome podcast, Andrea. I don't think I've read that one, but Andrea,
I don't think so.
We do hugely appreciate that. I know I've talked to her because actually she bought a lawn chair from Lawn Chair USA after we talked about it. So, Andrea, we appreciate the support. We love the email. And absolutely, if you're in the Germantown area, you need to look us up, come by the farm. And if I ever find myself in North Carolina, I'd have to look you up too. I'd love to come see the farm. All right. Thank you for writing in. Y'all can write in at talkdirtpodcast.com. Go to the contact page and submit your questions or just tell us what you think on there. All right, this next one comes up from Mike. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for producing this podcast. I look forward to listening every Friday morning. Logan, very cool that you started as a machinist. I'm cut from that cloth as well and work for a company called Grob that builds 5-axis machining centers. What machines were you running at your job? Bobby Lee, we raise freezer beef. More info below. And would be interested in your feed program. Really enjoy the YouTube channel, by the way. My family and I are located in Northwest Ohio. Starting before my time, we have been raising freezer beef at a small scale for roughly 30 years. Nice. Originally just supplying family and friends, we are steadily growing the business. Last year, my wife and I started an LLC. Her background in marketing at Certified Angus Beef, also the reason I married her, and my interest in cattle starting at a young age has led us to exploring many avenues of business, many of which have been discovered on this show. Hey, that's really cool. My work requires me to travel most weeks, with an aging father and expecting wife is making growing the operation side of our cattle business a challenge. My main line of work involves assisting customers with machining solutions, most of which contain automated systems. In the future, I plan to leverage automation and monitoring systems in our cattle operation to accommodate my work schedule. Hopefully, this isn't taken the wrong way, as I'm very against any government regulations on cattle tracking. A topic I think would be interesting to hear about on your show is how people are leveraging technology to become more efficient in the cattle business at small to medium scale. Thanks again for producing the show, guys. Cheers. All right, so on the machinist thing, what machines were I running? So whenever I actually started machining, I came out of tech school and I went to Odyssey Medical, which is not even, I don't think it exists anymore. And I ran Swiss machines, they were really pretty cool machines. Like you could run a complete part. Like it had two operations. Like you had tools on this side and tools on this side, and then it had centers in both center. And it would run a bar through, and the material would come out this side. You could come down here and you could machine all this side of like we made medical screws and stuff. It would machine the head of the screw and do all that, and then it would push the bar forward, and this other center would grab it, and you'd have a tool that would come and it'd cut the piece off, the bar would go back in, and then your tools, and you would like turn the other side. So you could run a complete finished part in this machine, and it would spit the screw out, and you had it ready to go. Most machines, like on a mill or lathe, you have to like take them out, move them and change them, and like you don't get to usually run a complete part. I could on a Swiss machine. So I ran Swisses. They were not Stars, Tsugamis. I think they were Tsugami Swiss machines. And then whenever I went to Titan, I ran Mazak lathes. It was like a 4-axis lathe, and that was Mazak Mazatrol. It was conversational programming, which was pretty I liked it. I could actually program those pretty good. So that's what I ran. And, I think about times when things are like really crappy, like currently, I'm like, man, my original dream was actually when I went to tech school was to get DOD contracts and open my own shop.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I want to like build missiles. I want to do that kind of stuff. Like get these contracts. And the DOD pays a lot of money for this stuff. But I just never did. Went into the medical stuff. I didn't give a shit about making medical stuff. But I could hold super tight tolerances. So there was one thing that came out of that. But that's what I ran. It was Tsugami Swisses and Mazak lathes. And I'm going to send your email to Bobby Lee for the feeding ration.
Yeah, I'll send you that PDF.
Yep. And I'll ask you on this, Bobby Lee. Like it's a topic we can dig more into for an episode because I think it'd be really cool. What are your thoughts on, this side of my wheelhouse on leveraging technology to become more efficient in the cattle business?
Yeah, I think I've been thinking about how I'm gonna, get things a little more automated because hell, I'm getting older.
Yeah.
The manual labor, day in day out side of things, especially if my next generation behind me doesn't have the interest in it than I do. There's going to come a day sooner rather than later probably where, especially the way I'm having to feed cows right now and as muddy and nasty as it is, that I'm not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody commented on one of my YouTube videos, you thought about getting a cake feeder to go on the truck? Like, you're damn right I have. I got to do, I'd have to have some upgrades on my feed storage, to have a way to auger it in.
Yeah.
And the bunks wouldn't be a huge investment, but yeah, logistics, some other moving parts to have to make right, because as it stands right now, I hand feed about 550 to 600 pounds of feed every morning.
Yeah.
And I look at it as it's a good little workout.
Yeah.
That's my workout because I don't go to the gym. But I'd be lying if I said that there weren't, especially this mud. I'm just slipping around and sliding.
Oh, yeah.
And bastards are kicking at me whenever I have to get back in there with a bucket, and I'm cussing and sweating. It's 100% humidity.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, yeah, man. Well, yeah, Mike, man, we appreciate you writing in, and you said your wife's expecting, man. Congratulations. That's
how old's the email? She might already have it by now.
This was actually in April 12th.
Oh yeah, well, congrats on the baby.
I was gonna say, yeah,
she might have already calved out by now.
She might have already calved out. Yeah, if she has, congratulations. Hope everybody's healthy. If you want to write in, give us an update. That'd be cool, man. We'd love to hear it. We appreciate you writing in. Thank you, Mike. All right, let's see here. Okay, this one. No, that's like a recommendation. See, that's where I try to like keep these kind of.
Is it like a spam recommendation or?
Nah, it'd be like, hey, you need to use this grain bin or something. And this one is a.
Hey, we're open for new sponsorships.
We are. If a grain bin company would like to sponsor us, that would be great.
Yeah, great. We're not getting rid of Exacta, but
no. Yeah. Yep. All right, this is. Let's see. That's another. All right, I'm trying to get caught up. I remember I had several. Okay. All right, here we go. So this comes in from Carter. Carter says, love listening to you guys talk all things agriculture. I really enjoyed the episode with Matt and how a vegetable farm operates. I'm a golf course superintendent in St. Louis, and we share a lot of similarities in our two sides of agriculture. Personally, I'd love to get myself some acreage and start vegetable farming and/or farming. Keep up all the fun stuff and consider having a conversation with someone in the golf industry, since our two sides get lumped together on a lot of policies, including the fertilizer and chem side of things. Thanks. Yeah, man, we appreciate that. And I mean, it's golf landscaping is a very meticulous thing. I mean, like obviously your golf course, it's got to look very pretty. Like,
yeah, that's what I had some fraternity brothers, and that's what they were really going to go into.
Really?
We were all ag guys. They were doing like plant science.
All fag guys.
Yeah. Ag.
Yeah.
Because well, I even took a lawn and turf management class. I mean, it was a plant science, plant science 415 or something, like lawn and turf management. We had to take an upper level plant science. And a buddy of mine was like, he was doing that and he was taking that course. Like, just take this one with me. And so I did.
Was that pretty interesting?
Yeah. I mean, it was, you learned about different types of turf grass stuff. It'd probably been better for me to do like more forages because that's
now you're into that.
Yeah. That's kind of my passion, but yeah.
Yeah.
I checked the box, got a requirement, and I needed to graduate.
There you go. Yeah. Well, no, man, we appreciate that, Carter. Yeah, I mean, if you never know what kind of guests we might have on the show sometime. We appreciate you writing in. All right, and this one is a story we got to look at. This Ben actually wrote in here. Ben, we have not skipped over you here. He's right in. Thought you guys might find this one interesting. Few cases it's involving some tobacco farmers and insurance fraud. He sent the article, so I'm going to save this one, Ben, and we will revisit that. I put a star on it.
There was one, I think we even talked about it that Chris Bennett covered. It was like a massive one.
This is a massive one. It's in Barron County. It's a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme.
I don't know. I'd have to read the article and see, but
yeah,
that one, it was one of Chris Bennett's classic ones that it's like an hour-long read. Like, it is he spent a long time researching that story, and it's one of those, like, they should have made this into a movie. Like, they absolutely should have made that into a movie.
We'll read that article, and we'll revisit that one, man. We appreciate it. This is Brandon. Hi, my name is Brandon. I'm 25 years old, live in Fort Jennings, Ohio. Contacting you at this time to see if you are hiring at the moment. I can send you my resume and answer any questions you may have. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day. Are you hiring?
Hiring? I mean, I'm trying to think.
Would you pay enough for him to move?
No, I need him like just a few days here and there. I think about that all the time. Like, man, if I had a hired man, I couldn't keep him busy for a full-time job.
Yeah.
But it's like, I need somebody that's like semi-retired or, just looking to put a little time in a tractor seat here and there randomly.
Yep.
When I'm out of town, because I still enjoy doing the day-to-day chores. And honestly, if I paid somebody to do all my day-to-day chores, like, I would be so upside down. Like, I might as well get out of farming.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. And Brandon, I appreciate it. Appreciate you right in, but to be honest with you, I can't afford a guy. I got a guy that helps me like part-time right now, and that's all I can do
I've got 2 or 3 guys to help me on it, but I mean, it's super sporadic.
Yes.
Like I might go 2 or 3 months without calling them and then be like, hey, can you rake hay this week?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Yep. So man, we appreciate that. Good luck on your hunt for a job. Ryan writes in, hey guys, love the podcast. Listen every week. Last year you made fun of June Pride every week in June, and I loved it. This year, each week in June, you should talk about some dairy story, as June is June Dairy Month. For the record, June was Dairy Month way before Gay Pride Month. I'm a dairy nutritionist in Wisconsin and celebrate with breakfast on the farm in every county statewide. Dairy parades and festivals all surrounding the dairy industry in the month of June. Drives me nuts Pride Month hijacked June from the hardest working farmers out there. Thanks, Ryan.
Well, I won't argue with them being the hardest working. Man.
I won't either. Dairy is nonstop, man. Like, those dudes don't ever get a break.
Hey, well, we forgot. We're recording here on Juneteenth. So,
we are.
I know it rained last night, so you really couldn't do too much.
We opened the store.
The farm store was open. Logan.
We opened the store.
How insensitive.
I told Marcy
of you to open on Juneteenth.
I told Marcy, I was like, this morning, I said, you realize that we're opening. We haven't even really opened yet, and we're opening specifically now on Juneteenth.
Seasonal. I texted my brother this morning because it was like pouring down rain and lightning. I forget exactly what I said. I was like, glad today's a holiday. It was a good day to just sleep in. Which, of course,
I'm sure the clinic was closed.
Man, we were open.
Oh, man. Yeah, that offends me.
Yeah.
I am offended. Well, yeah.
But my wife was off today.
Really?
Yeah. Her company, recognizes it as a holiday.
A lot of them do, man. It's a big thing.
I mean, right.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Well,
Right,
Ryan, you are right, man.
Slavery existed until we started recognizing it as a holiday.
Yes, that makes all the difference. You are absolutely right, man. Yeah, dairy farmers, they don't get the credit they deserve. Those dudes, like I said, it's all the time. And that previous one talking about technology, man, dairy operations, especially some of them nowadays, they really got some technology involved in them. But yeah, Ryan, you're darn right. And we still try to make fun of the gay pride thing when it pops in our heads. We've made a few jabs at it this one, with Bobby Lee being a drag queen. So Ryan, we appreciate you writing in. We'll have to have a dairy guy on the show at some point. It'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, which obviously we've had lots of outside of our immediate area, I guess, but yeah, dairy is something that just does not even exist in our area anymore.
No,
not at any kind of scale.
Yeah,
and I couldn't even tell you where the closest small dairy is anymore.
I can't either. All right, the next one comes in from Will. He said, just found the show and love it. I'm a first-generation farmer. I'm cutting about 120 acres in hay with a few mama cows. Question for Bobby. How do you find the right dress whenever you're hunting for your perfect drag dress in the month of June?
You know, at first, because I was, budget conscious, you just go to Goodwill. But now, and unfortunately for me, I married a woman that's much smaller than me, so I can't squeeze into much of her stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would start with Goodwill, and if you got to, you can go to some of the other, more budget friendly places.
There you go. Yeah, that sounds like a solid recommendation.
The dresses aren't as much of a challenge as the heels.
The heels. I feel like it'd be hard to walk in.
I mean, I'm like a size 12 men's. And it's hard to find.
It's like a Jamondo woman's shoe.
Yeah.
Now he says, question for Bobby. How do you market your hay, and can you describe how you raise stocker cattle, what weight you're buying and selling at?
Yeah, so I don't market any hay. We pretty much feed everything we bale. I may have some extra this year because I picked up some more hay ground. Yeah, I'm not real sure. There's not a great market around here for especially cow hay.
Yeah.
We just don't, there's not a lot of cattle. And on years when, hay is short, and so there is a market for it, everybody's looking for it. Well, I probably need to keep it for myself,
Yeah.
And then in years when I've got a lot of excess, well, so does everybody else. And so, for horse hay, there's a fair market around here. I don't know, if all of a sudden I had a lot of extra this year, I'd probably start with the old
Facebook.
Yeah, generic Facebook, put it out there, and, that sort of thing. Word of mouth, probably as valuable as anything.
Yep. Now, how you describe how you raise stocker cattle? What weight are you buying and selling them at?
So you need to be watching my YouTube.
Yep.
Which, of course, we do a lot of just random shit on YouTube.
Well, give us we've still got several emails, so give us a rapid fire of weight buying, selling.
We buy at roughly 600 pounds, between 550 and 600. In years past, we would buy them at like March, April time frame. We would feed them very little, just enough feed to keep them coming to a feed bunk, keep them all the way into the fall and sell them. And we're only selling them like 850. They're not gaining much. This year we think we've got a better plan while we switch to it, and we believe they don't gain much weight starting right about now, because we're mainly fescue based pastures. It's hotter than Satan's butt crack, and they don't eat a lot. The grass isn't doing as good. So our plan this year was we're going to buy like March, sell here in just the next week or two.
Yeah.
And we also pushed a lot more feed to them, hence my, feeding 550, 600 pounds of feed every day. We're feeding about 1% of their body weight, and, just a mixed ration. And, just turning them like that. And we'll see. Market is really good right now. I mean, if they do even half as well as I think they should,
he'll be a millionaire.
Yeah. Y'all, I'll be tuning in remotely because I'm I'm going to move.
He'll be in his yacht.
Just somewhere, on a yacht, and I'll have to be sure I've got good internet access so I can still do the podcast. But
That's right.
No, that's basically ours. Buy them at 600, sell them at 8+. We like to buy them at that weight. They're, knock on wood, we've had little illness issues. You can buy them a lot lighter, buy them balling calves that hadn't been weaned. You're just going to have a lot more, problems, I would suspect. So, yeah, that's kind of the quick, rundown of what we do.
There you go. Thanks, Will. Hope it helps you out, man. Appreciate you writing in. Feel free to reach out to us again. All right. Okay. But that's a long one here. Get my reading voice ready.
That's what she said.
Yes. I've always wished that. Man, we got several. I think, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 emails left.
We might have to skip ahead because I'm like all full of suspense about this one insulting me, insulting us.
Yeah, and you got me lumped in. Apparently you've lumped me in.
So they were specifically mad at me.
Yeah, your a facial expression that you made really about a topic we were having.
Hey, we love
they're
our
YouTube watchers.
YouTube and Rumble watchers, yeah.
Yeah, you grimaced, and at the thing you grimaced at, it showed your true colors.
No idea where this is going.
Well, it actually really caught me off guard because they actually began this email by complimenting us and things, and then
what you're supposed to give a compliment sandwich if you're gonna.
Okay, well that's what
compliment somebody, then rip them a new asshole, and then finish with a compliment.
And like I want to say that I appreciate you writing in. Like, look, hey, if something like we say or do, like you have a problem with it, by all means, please write in. Like,
absolutely, comment on YouTube, whatever.
Yes, let us know. And it doesn't mean we dislike you. Like, so let me just get into this. Here we go. This comes from Dan. So there's no confusion. Dan Lewis writes this. Dear Logan and Bobby Lee.
There's only one Dan Lewis.
That's right. Dear Logan and Bobby Lee. Having spent years watching homesteading videos, I am familiar with the problems you talk about. You also remind me of the good people I met in the South years ago. My question is, has Brooke Rollins done anything to improve the American farming ranching situation? Is the Trump administration working on changing things for the better for the American farmer rancher? The administration has worked so quickly in so many other areas. I am in the process of liking every one of the YouTube episodes of Talk Dirt to Me. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Okay, never mind.
I've already got lots of thoughts, yeah.
All right, here we go. This is more personal, and the answer decides whether I keep watching Talk Dirt to Me and Hurricane Creek Farms.
Oh, man.
So he even watches yours.
There's so much on the line for me right here.
Yeah, he said, incidentally keep mentioning the podcast on your channel since that's how I found out about it. So he's saying you're doing good. I guess it was your episode, maybe. I don't know if it was on your talk or your YouTube channel or on here. On the Father's Day video, Bobby Lee had a grimace on his face. So it must have been on your episode. So I'm just the innocent bystander. On the Father's Day video, Bobby Lee had a grimace on his face.
This is really recent, yeah.
As he said that the Middle East, this just came in, that the Middle East situation would affect what his calves would get when he sold them. I watched these videos and podcasts to relax. I got agitated and horrified because I had been so looking forward to at least one of you having a good year. If it makes you feel better, and this is when I started reading this part, I was like, wow, this is when it starts to take a turn. If it makes you feel better, people are running for their lives in the wee hours of the morning to bomb shelters or staircases due to Iranian missiles. The Israeli farmers have been working in their fields with missiles falling throughout the 20 months of the war. Some people in certain regions have seconds versus a 1.5 minute warning. Please let me know if you are just anti-Semitic versus unknowledgeable.
Oh, Lord.
I will understand and not watch anymore.
I think my exact comment was, it was something along the lines of, if they'd behave themselves in the Middle East and not screw up our markets.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm praying that we don't have World War III. So I think he may have misunderstood what I was saying. Like, look, my general thoughts on that whole conflict that's been going on since the beginning of time in the Middle East is I don't really have a dog in that fight. Like, definitely if gun to my head, I have to pick a side.
Going with Israel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They are our ally. I think it is very valuable that we have an ally over there. I'm actually in the middle of reading a book that one of our former guests, Baker Levitt, recommended.
So then you're not unknowledgeable. You're just anti-Semitic. You just hate Jews.
I would
say it. You hate those Jews.
Deep down, when I'm watching this, I'm like, yeah.
You get angry?
No, I'm rooting for Israel to prevail in this deal, generally speaking. Now, I think it's far more complex and nuanced than probably any American understands.
So who do you hate? Because you got to hate someone.
Who do I hate?
In this day and age. So, all right, my
mom always taught me when I was growing up, she's like, you don't hate anyone. And being the smart ass I was.
What about the devil?
Well, no, this was like 90s. It's like during like the Gulf War. I was like, well, I hate Saddam Hussein. And of course, I was just.
So you're an anti-Saddamite.
Right. And now in hindsight, 30 years later, I'm like.
They should have just left him alone.
He was evil. He was evil as hell. His sons were evil. You know what? It might have been a little better situation over there whenever.
Yeah.
He had them a little more under control because obviously, ISIS and all that shit that came up out of it. But anyway.
Yeah. Well,
I am not about to solve the Middle East conflict on this podcast. I think I was just commenting. It's like, yeah, cattle market's great. We're about to sell some calves. We're going to make a bunch of money as long as dudes over there in the Middle East can behave and not screw up our markets. I was basically saying I don't want.
He was saying that he hates Jews.
Yes, that
is what he was saying. He said he wants to bomb the Jews.
I was saying I don't want World War III to break out and like literally the sun is shining on the cattle markets like it never has, and I'm like, my luck, I'm gonna call the trucks and we're gonna have cattle on the way to the sale barn, and literally absolute World War III is going to break out.
And the markets are going to just
Monday
tank.
morning, and it's going to be like an absolute bloodbath.
Yeah.
Not just in the Middle East, but in all the financial markets, not just the cattle market. So I think he totally misunderstood everything. That's a complicated situation. I'm generally very much on the side of Israel versus everything going on over there.
Yeah.
The Jews, and again, we could, that's a rabbit hole that
they killed Jesus.
You'd never come. Right. I do kind of hold that against them, but, no, I mean, obviously and I don't even begin to understand. I mean, I don't understand Judaism really at all. I certainly don't understand Islam.
Yeah.
But like that whole conflict, like, man, it's really complex the more I read about it. But man, the Jews, and obviously there's a huge Jewish population, in places all over the world. But my gosh, and I understand, like, because I think about it, like, all right, what if all of a sudden we were forced out of, like, Tennessee is the only place, like, it is my home.
Yeah, yeah.
Not quite the promised land,
But we love it.
Right.
We love our state.
But like, man, I'm like, I don't know if I would feel comfortable living there. I mean, I guess if it's home, it's home. You can't, maybe you don't want to leave, but like, man, like,
yeah,
when you have everybody around you wants nothing more like just chanting death to you, which I guess they chant death to America, but at least here we're
2,000 whatever,
however
miles
away, and we're like, they ain't screwing with us, not.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess terrorism, but anyway, yeah, I think Dan might have totally misunderstood. I sympathize with war anywhere. I mean,
we just don't want to see it. I mean,
I'm praying for them to behave, to not mess up the markets, but also, I mean, we're anti-death here at Talk Dirt to Me.
Yeah, I mean, we drink liquid death, but we're anti-death.
Yeah.
Look, so So here's my thoughts. I'm on.
I was glad to see them eliminate Iran's nuclear facilities. Like, yeah, like I don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. I think, obviously Obama sending them whatever pallets of cash and all that shit.
That really did a lot of good.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm gonna give you my take here. First, let me run through this real quick. Has Brooke Rollins done anything to improve the American farming ranching situation?
I was really interested in that. I think that's debatable. I mean,
I do too. And
the Maud case, obviously one tiny example.
Yeah.
Something they stepped up and got shit done. She has kind of weighed in on the deal we talked about earlier up in New Jersey, although it's not really a federal. But I think her just even commenting on it put some pressure on that local town to be like, whoa, this is a lot bigger deal than us just eminent domaining 21 acres.
Yes, and that's how I am. And there's things that are problematic to me. I mean, they're cutting some funding
I think
and things.
This big beautiful bill is all kinds of problematic.
Yes, I will say a cool thing in it is it does remove suppressors, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns. Like all these are taken off the NFA list.
So no more tax stamp?
No more tax stamp to have an SBR.
Is that really in there?
That is in there, and it has passed the Senate. Like it's so that part's in there, and I want it to stay in there. Yeah, I definitely want it to stay in there.
The problem with these bills is there's a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of total stupid stuff.
Yes,
but they shove it all in there, and it's like, all right, well, there's so much compromise, and I understand. Like, hell, I'm married. Everything in life's a compromise.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, I love those, but I do, like we advised in a previous episode, is you need to reach out to your senator. You need to ask them, what the hell's in this bill? And especially if you're on the farming side, what does this bill mean for farmers? Like, what elements in this thing are about farmers? Because there is some funding cutting to agriculture. And I've actually seen a lot of it is specifically it would actually be more beneficial to small operators and like produce, like small scale farming and I don't know if it's like grants gone. Again, I'm not as knowledgeable on as I ought to be, but reach out to your senators on that. Now, let me address my thoughts on the last part of this. I mean, Bobby Lee's bleeding hatred for the Jews sometimes is a little bit overpowering when I'm sitting right here.
I cannot.
No. Here's my thing.
I've got a free Palestine flag on my Jeep. No.
Yes.
I told the story about when I was in Denver and it was like the Free Palestine March went by. And I was like, what the fuck? We're in Denver, Colorado. Like, that was my first clue that I was like.
Well, Colorado's blue as hell.
Well, this was this was over 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. No, wow.
I'm still not super knowledgeable on the Israel-Palestine conflict and all that. But I'm much more knowledgeable on it now than I was then. I was like, how does this make any sense? I'm in Denver, Colorado on like a Tuesday afternoon, and there's a
Free Palestine.
Who are all these people? Like, what the hell is this all about? Anyway, yeah, like no. Yeah. I think Dan and I probably agree on way more than he realized.
Well, and here's what I was going to say. All right, so we're not anti-Semitic. Like, honestly, I don't hate Jews. I don't hate Muslims. I'm like not. I don't like the ones that are chopping people's heads off and shit. But like,
well, and I do get. You got a lot of the far right wingers are like, if Israel goes to war with Iran, we got to go in with them. And,
I'm kind of like, why?
Defend Israel at all costs. And look, they are the side I side with in that conflict. Not too indifferent than the Ukraine Russia.
Yeah.
But it's also, part of me is like, I don't know
that this is our war.
Right. And I understand, having an ally over there, and I'd rather Israel not get crushed and wiped off the map, just like I would rather the Ukrainians, not be invaded by. But it's, part of me is like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to begin to really understand all the nuance going on over there. And I just think a lot of the politicians and all, like, there's ulterior motives in play, and
God,
the war machine, needing to keep turning to pad the pockets of all these people. I'm like, I'm certainly not comfortable with us sending American, servicemen and women over there.
And hell, man,
like, yeah, I'm. Yeah,
I don't
a far
like
more complex subject than I feel qualified to, debate deeply. But yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I was going to say, like,
pick one side or the other. 8 days a week, Israel.
Yeah,
but
yeah, no, and I'm exactly the same way. And so my thing here, and I told Marcy about this email because I thought it was very fascinating, and I told her, I said, one of the things that kind of chaps my ass a little bit about this day and age is if you make any critical remark about anything, you hate them. You're a homophobe. You're a racist. You're anti-Semitic. You're a xenophobe. You're a misogynist. Whatever the damn things are, you're a Zionist. Or whatever. It's like I can be objective about things. Like I am a human being. When I see things, I have an objective thought. And so, and I guess I say all that to say, if you watch our show, there's a couple things about Talk Dirt to Me here. And actually, they're the strengths of the show. I've learned that. We've been doing this show for 4 years. We started this in October of 21. We have been in the game. And the show is growing. The show is doing very well. Part of that is because we just tell it what we think. We're genuine. We're authentic. Bobby Lee and I do not script anything. We don't sit around. Hell, half the time, like if he's got a topic, I don't even know what it is. If I got a topic, he don't know what it is. He just heard this email for the first time. Like, we don't plan the things we're going to talk about. And honestly, I think that's a lot of the secret sauce of this episode is it's honest conversation that's happening in the moment. This is the same kind of conversation you would have if you ran into your buddy in the parts store or at Walmart or whatever, and you're like, hey, man, what's going on? Oh, man, shit, you see that stuff that's happening over here? Like, that's what this is. And so with that, you get reactions and things sometimes that maybe, dude, I know that I've said dumb shit on here before because I'm literally talking right in the moment. And sometimes later on, I'll even think, I'll be like, man, I don't know if I should have said that. At this point now, I don't really think that very often because we've just been doing it. I'm like, it is what it is. So I say all that to say, like, Dan, I hope that you stick around. Hope you enjoy this show. But I'm just going to tell you right now, if you watch the show and you are on the edge of your seat, like, oh, am I going to be offended by this grimace that Bobby Lee makes, or am I going to be offended by this, then this is not the show for you. I'm just going to be totally honest. Like, because this is not a squeaky clean polished show. Like, that is just what this show is. We cut through the bullshit and just call it like it is. So if you're easily offended, I don't think Talk Dirt to Me is the show for you.
Yeah. Well, I just don't want World War III to break out. That's it.
No. No, I know. Like, and whenever I saw
I don't want our financial markets to collapse. I don't want a lot of, people that are half my age being sent overseas.
Yeah. Had that conversation today.
To fight. I certainly don't want the fight coming here. And I know people argue, well, we're by us sending all this money and stuff overseas, we're
preventing it from coming here.
I don't know. I still think a lot of those people, they have
ulterior
motives.
Yeah. Yep.
The war is a huge industry. So anyway.
To sum it up, we're not anti-Semitic. And are we unknowledgeable? I don't think we're unknowledgeable. Do I think that we know a whole lot about the situation? No. Do I think that this guy knows a whole lot about the situation? No. Like, we're not, none of us are in the, what is the room that Trump and them go to? The Situation Room. Yeah. None of us are in the Situation Room. We don't know what the fuck is going on behind the closed doors.
And that's one thing, because, again, I have a lot of issues with certain things in the Big Beautiful Bill. I think Trump, being 100% a businessman, he's anti-war. Like he does not want us, I think you could argue he's the most anti-war president we've had, certainly in my adult life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know a lot of people always talk about we need peace in the Middle East. I don't think we'll ever have peace in the Middle East. There never has been peace. I don't think there ever will be peace. The more I read, again, reading that, I talked about the book. It's called Rise and Kill First. Baker recommended. It's talking about the Mossad, the IDF, and how, I mean, it is incredible what Israel has been able to accomplish from an intelligence and espionage and, standpoint of, because, I mean, they're tiny. I mean, it's a dot on the map over there. And
they're bad to the bone.
Yeah.
They don't play around.
And the book's pretty unbiased. It's written mainly from, the Israeli perspective, but, I mean, it very much calls out some stuff they did that turned out to be a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Or where they screwed up and killed the wrong people. And, all kinds of stuff. Like, you do not want to be on their bad side. I guarantee you that. If you're a whatever, a leader in one of the Islamic countries over there, you're sleeping with one eye open.
Yeah.
Because you never know what they're gonna, it might be a package you get in the mail. Your toothpaste might be poisoned.
Yeah.
Or they might just somehow infiltrate your inner circle and put a bullet in your head. You don't ever know.
Oh yeah. My buddies that have been in the military, some of them have worked with like Israeli forces. They talk about how badass they all are. I mean, they're badass, and
which they have to be, because like you said, like they are
always in war
and surrounded by people who want nothing more than to wipe them off the planet.
Yes. So, no, Dan, look, like I said, man, we'd love for you to keep watching the show. I'm not a big fan of ultimatums.
Right. That definitely kind of like.
That doesn't really sit real well with me. It's like, all right, your answer to this question determines whether I keep watching. Well, I don't know. I'm just going to refrain from saying what I want to say. But Dan, we'd like for you to keep watching if you want to. If you're going to continually be offended, then don't. Now, I put the phone up. You got any other thing you want to add?
No, yeah, there was some other topics, but there's kind of one big one. But definitely, we probably need to hold off on it. Because, what are we? I can't see our little time.
Hour and 16.
Hour and 16 minutes. We're not too deep into it. But, yeah. I don't know, there was lots of good emails there.
It was.
Definitely didn't see myself being an anti-Semite tonight.
Oh, that's what I told Marcy. I was like, this is a first. And I guess I'm not even, I think it was I'm just guilty by association, apparently. But I was more angry about it than Bobby Lee was. But no, we're not, look, I love Mel Gibson. I think he's a wonderful actor, but I never endorsed his anti-Semite rampage that he went on years ago. I still think he's a great actor, but that doesn't mean I agree with all his Jew hate. Again, I'm not sitting around thinking of groups of people that I hate. Like I can't think of a group of people that I hate. Like if I'm like, man, who I hate.
No, not entire groups.
Yeah, like
I mean, Alabama football fans they're close up there. Arkansas baseball fans, which I know nobody listens to this, but man. Those poor guys last night, they find the most painful ways to lose.
Oh, gosh.
They had the best team left in the tournament and literally can't even catch a fly ball to win a game.
Oh, Bobby's making people angry now.
Which I guess it was 2018, they couldn't catch a fly ball to win the whole damn thing.
Oh, shit.
So it's like, oh, damn, guys. But as I think about it, I know about 7 or 8 diehard Arkansas fans that are great people. I love them. For them, I genuinely felt really bad. I was like, man, I feel bad for him and him. But as a whole, like Arkansas baseball fans, man, they're awful.
Yeah. Well, I just
collectively they are. Individually, I know some that are awesome people, but yes, sorry to all our Arkansas baseball fans out there.
And again, don't make me guilty by Bobby Lee Association. I don't even know shit about them.
Yeah, Logan has no idea the College World Series is even.
Yeah, I'm like,
what
is baseball? What are you talking about right now? I mean, I really can't. Like, maybe cyclists.
Literally last night, their left fielder looked like he was having a seizure as he was trying to catch a fly ball. And this dude is like a first or second round draft pick, like
So he's
awesome
a bad
baseball
dude.
player. And like, I guarantee you he has caught a fly ball like that. It was kind of a line drive, but
Yeah.
1,000 times. Like 1,000 is probably not even like, it's just like, are you kidding me? Would have been the last out of the game. Yeah, whatever.
he bombs
They're
it.
cursed. They're cursed.
Cyclists.
Yeah.
I hate cyclists.
You hate cyclists.
Yeah.
And see, I know, and same thing. I know some people individually that like they ride bicycles and they might even consider themselves cyclists. That's a good dude. But yeah, like when there's a pack of 30 of them on the road
hate
on
'em.
a Saturday morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate them. I have horrible thoughts when I see a group of them, especially when I'm in a semi and I've shared before and I'm loaded with grain and they're on like Highway 88, which is like the most semi-traveled road. And you can't get around them because it's a big, huge group of them, and it's a narrow freaking road, and it's semi-truck coming here, and you try to grab a gear, and they're going just to the right speed. Like, I hate them. Yeah.
Well, and it's probably a reflection, you know, as a whole, you know, whether you're talking about different, fan bases or races or, you know, religious beliefs. Like, it's easy to, you know, lump them all in and say, oh, they're awful. But then when you get to know a couple of them, you're like, oh, well, actually,
These guys are good. They're just
these are regular old dudes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you know, like our audience is great. Like I've said before, like I think we have a wonderful audience, and but like one of the things that I hope our audience knows is we are not going to apologize for something that we don't feel is wrong. And like, you know, because there's one thing that really I just always hated, and that's when like some guy that's like a celebrity or something. I don't say this meaning we're celebrities, but like they make a remark and you're like, hell yeah. And then they get like some flack for it and they come out and they're like, sorry guys. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like you had the support and the rally of the people.
Well, then nobody. Yeah.
Even because you're never going to apologize enough for the angry mom.
They already hate you.
Yes.
And then the other, because we're pretty much 50-50 on most major issues.
Yep.
On the 50% who like totally loved you because you were honest.
Now don't
Now
respect
when
you.
you walk it back, now you've lost them. So now you're just, you don't have anybody anymore.
Yes. So that's just not us. We're.
Take the Conor McGregor approach.
Which one is that?
It's like, I want to take the opportunity to apologize.
To absolutely no one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, all right, here we go.
Apologize to your wife if you piss her off. Like,
Yes.
That's maybe the only thing I've learned in 16 years of marriage.
That is true. Be quick to apologize to your wife.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America.
All right. I'm wearing the ones that I got, like this one.
This product is so good. I noticed it when Logan walked in the door. I was like, what are those?
Dude, I wore these to the Demolition Derby in Covington, and some woman was like, she flagged down my wife, and she goes,
Did she throw her panties at you?
She did. And they were a little wet too. She said, what kind of shoes does he have on? And Marcy was like, oh, I just got him those for his birthday. And
They're made in the USA.
got the flag. See, they did this right. Like we talk about, like, see, it's got the flag on the side. See it right there?
Yep.
If you make a product in the USA and you don't like plaster out there that is made in USA, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Like, because that is a point of should be made.
I'm
like,
at the point now where if I'm somewhere and something's made in the USA, it really doesn't even matter if I really need it. Like, I immediately want it. I mean, as long as it's not something ridiculous, like, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
And I might not buy it that day, but I'm going to come back and buy it. Like,
Yep. Well, here is so Thorogood Boots. That's THOROGOOD. Thorogood Boots. I was looking here. It says you can trace their legacy all the way back to 1892.
yep.
They have been around a long time. Now, I'm like, man, I go through spurts. I'll wear we've talked about Double H. I'll wear Double H boots from time to time. They're made in USA. But I told my wife back before my birthday, I said, I really want some shoes, like some lace-up boots. I said, they're more comfortable, like that raised heel. I've had this stupid knee that's been bothering me. So I was like, I want something more comfortable. And so I looked at these and I told her, I said, I want to try these Thorogoods out. And they're awesome boots. And dude, they make all kinds of work boots. Like they've got like Western boots, but they're work boots and they're waterproof. These are oil resistant. They're leather. I like them. They're the tall, like, I don't know what that is.
Probably like a 6 to 8 inch.
Yeah. So they're the taller ones. They lace
it's
up.
It's like an army boot.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I was like, World War III is going to kick off. I need some good boots.
Not if them assholes in the Middle East will behave.
It'll behave. Did you grimace when you said that? Damn it, Bobby Lee. But they got all kinds of boots. I'm looking on here. Logger series. I mean, dude, it's all kinds of freaking boots on here.
They're would you say they're bad to the bone?
They are truly bad to the bone. They're so bad to the bone that like the first day you wear them, they're very uncomfortable because they're like stiff leather, and then after that, now they're super comfortable.
Do they make you want to drink alone?
Yes, they do. Just me and my old granddad.
Yeah. I just tried to drop as many George Thorogood references in there as I could. Those only two I got.
Well, I mean, I have walked 47 miles of barbed wire in these.
Yeah.
And I got I forgot the next one. I got a cobra snake for a necktie when I wear these, I mean,
there you go.
Yeah, man. So, no, I mean, Thorogood boots, I definitely put my stamp on them. I've been on my feet all day out at the farm store and stuff today. And actually, my feet and legs feel pretty good.
Yeah. Did you have a pretty good turnout today?
It was good. Yeah, we were open for about 2 hours, and man, we made pretty good cash. Sold a lot of cowboy candy, a lot of pickled okra. Yeah, it did really well.
I need to come by. So y'all open again on Saturday?
Saturday, 10 to 12 or 9 to 12.
Okay, I probably won't make it by. I think I'm gonna be on the tractor mowing hay all day.
Oh, yeah, man. We we got.
That's my plan if the weather will hold out.
We got the kraut aging. June 30th, we'll uncover the kraut, and that's our man. I mean, the kraut is just it's the skyrocket, man. People come for the kraut.
I need to get a jar.
Yep. It's awesome.
Although now that I don't eat bread, my favorite way to eat kraut is on a Reuben.
Reubens are awesome, but I love kraut and weenies. I like to.
I made some kraut and weenies the other night.
Yep, I love it.
I just had to use the which I guess y'all's is jarred too. But
do you use Kraft?
I don't even know what it was. We were coming home on a Sunday evening and we stopped at Fast Times, and I know damn good and well because it's like a hybrid grocery store gas station.
Yeah.
I was like, they got a damn jar of kraut in here somewhere, and I found one. We got home.
It's got to be Kraut. Or Kraft.
Cut up some of KC Cattle Company's.
I still haven't used those yet.
World's greatest hot dogs.
Are they good?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I've got them in my freezer. I just haven't cooked them yet.
Yeah, I made some kraut and weenies with it.
All right. I did the burgers and they were really good, but I am going to cook the hot dogs. All right, guys, y'all check out Thorogood Boots and maybe Thorogood USA. Check them out. Also, we need you to leave us a rating and review. Like I said, if you're watching this on YouTube, let us know what you thought. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. If Bobby Lee's face makes you angry, comment below. Let us know if he just has a face you want to punch, and if mine is punchable by association, then let me know. Also, leave us those ratings, and June 27th is the cutoff for the giveaway. Don't be an idiot. There's people that are kicking ass in this, because you can gain multiple entries.
Just enter.
And we got some people that have we got a guy on there that has 41 entries. This dude has knocked it out of the park, man. I mean, we got people that have 3 entries. They've done bare minimum. Hey, that's fine. But I mean, we literally have people that are like, by God, I want that giveaway. They have 41 entries.
They get those extra entries by sharing it.
Yep. When you enter, a list is going to pop up and it's going to be do this to gain additional entries. Follow us on YouTube, but you got to do it through the giveaway thing so that it's tracked, and then you'll gain your additional entries. So it's on the main page, talkdirtpodcast.com. On the homepage, you will see enter the giveaway. You put your email in, boom, you're entered, and then you get multiple entries. You need to do it, guys. Like I said, June 27th is your last hurrah. So there you go. And what else do you need to do?
Visit www.eminent, agzaga.com. Put a bunch of stuff in your shopping cart. Spend some time scrolling around. And we know everybody, you're sitting at work maybe, or
on the crapper.
Yeah, you're bored,
Your boss makes $1, you make a dime. That's why you shit on company time.
That's right. maybe you're out there on the farm. You're spraying. You're waiting on the damn water truck to come back. Pull out your phone. Go to agzaga.com. Fill up the shopping cart. When you go to checkout, use that discount code TalkDirt20. Takes $20 off $50 order. Free shipping. They'll know that we sent you there. It helps us out. It helps them out.
Yep.
And really, you're helping yourself out.
I mean, and you may be like Bobby Lee. You might be burning an Israeli flag, burning the Star of David, and grimacing while doing so. I mean, you just never know. If you're doing that, with your hand that's not holding the lighter, you can be scrolling on Agzaga.
Right.
So, guys, do that. We'll catch you next week. See what's going on. Who knows what next week will hold in store for us?
Yeah, I'll try to be less anti-Semitic this week.
Yeah, we'll be a little less anti-Semitic and a little less unknowledgeable. All right, guys. Catch y'all next week.